In this video, we are going to be discussing about what is machine learning, the basics of machine learning, and the types of learning which are there. So machine learning in simple terms is a subset of AI which provides machine the ability to learn automatically and improve from the experience without being explicitly programmed to do so. In the sense, it is a practice of getting machines solve problems by gaining ability to think. And we have also discussed in our previous video that it is a subset of AI. Now, there are some definitions which we must be aware of before starting with the machine learning. That what is an algorithm? Algorithm is a set of rules and statistical techniques used to learn the patterns from data and draw significant information from it. So it is a set of rules. Next we have model. Now, model is the main component of machine learning. A model is trained by using a machine learning algorithm. An algorithm maps all the decisions of a model is supposed to take based on given input, the input that we feed to the machine in order to get the correct output. Next, we have the predictor variable. It is a feature of data that can be used to predict the output. Next, we have response variable. Now, response variable is a feature of the output variable that needs to be predicted by using the predictor variable. That means it is interdependent of predictor variable. Then we have training data. Now this training data is actually the machine learning model built with the help of training data. There are several data and it identifies key trends and the pattern essential to predict the output. And lastly, there is testing data. This testing data, after the model is trained, it must be tested to evaluate how accurately it can predict the outcome, and that is done by testing. So in short, all this is, let's say here we have data that trains a machine and it actually builds a model and it predicts outcome. So this is all about machine learning. Next, we are going to learn about the process. What are the machine learning process involving in building a predictive model that can be used to find the solution? So the model is quite like, the first step is defining objective. After that, there is data gathering. Next, preparing the data. Then data exploration. Building a model, evaluation, and lastly, the prediction. So this is all about an ML process that happens, the machine learning process. The step one is defining the objective. This means that we must understand what exactly needs to be predicted, what exact possibilities there needed to be predicted. For example, if I am feeding several features of distinguishing a flower and I have 4 separate flowers which I am giving, so that means I have to define the objective firstly, that what we need to do. In this case, the objective is to predict the flower and then check according to the conditions or the features which we would be giving. Next stage is of data gathering. That means we have to collect as much amount of data that can be together put and then feed it to the machine so that it can analyze. Lastly, there is data preparation. Here you can see in this particular phase, last there is data preparation. The collected data is almost never in the right format. That means it can have inconsistency, it can have missing values, redundant value, duplicate value. Now removing such inconsistency is very essential because this might lead to wrong computations or prediction. Therefore, at this stage, we scan the data for any inconsistency and fix them. Next, we have the exploratory data analysis. This is the part of data analysis, and it is the most important part, that where understanding the patterns and trends of the data so that correct insights can be made. Next is building a ML model. All the insights and patterns that is derived up to here are then together put in a model so that we can choose the correct algorithm to operate on. Next is the evaluation and optimization. After building a model, by using the training data set, it is finally time to put the model to test. So we give several test conditions so that we can check it is predicting accurately or not. And lastly, prediction. That means after all the processes have been done, once the model is evaluated and improved, it can finally make the prediction on its own and can derive the output. So this is the complete machine learning process which is there. Now we are going to discuss about the types of machine learning. So a machine learning or a machine can learn to solve a problem with any of the following three approaches, or that is its classification, that is supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement. So these are the three types: supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. So we will learn about one by one each. Firstly, supervised learning. Now this is a technique in which we learn or train the machine using the data which is well labeled. That means in this we have a trainer, let's say, which will actually give all the techniques and feed all the data machine, as well as it will be labeled. For example, when we are kids, we need somebody to help us or to guide us to learn several things. Like that only, the labeled set of data will be given to the machine to understand the patterns and the data. For example, here we have the input and we give the output also. If we are giving several features here of flowers, and we are identified distinguishedly that this is this particular flower and 4 flowers that it is identifying. So we are feeding the system, or let's say the machine, everything with the input and the output, and then it is processing the training phase and giving us the output, or can actually get the trained set of data with the labeled output. So that occurs in the process of supervised learning. Next we come to unsupervised. In unsupervised, there is no trainer, which means that it is done training using the unlabeled data and allowing the model to act on the information without guidance. That means no guidance will be given. And if the particular system can act on that, then that particular is known as unsupervised learning, or can be said as without guidance. That means here we just give input data and we get several sets of data, and then by several identification, the machine itself makes the patterns. So it makes the pattern itself and classifies and then takes the decisions or give the desired output, that is unsupervised. Next we have the reinforcement learning. Now reinforcement learning is a part of machine learning where an agent is put in an environment and he learns and behaves the environment by performing several actions, by observing the rewards in which those actions have been get. So in this there is, let's say, an agent which is put to an environment to learn while performing several actions. This is about reinforcement learning. So by the end of this video, we have discussed about machine learning, what are the processes included while in machine learning, and what are the types of machine learning, that is reinforcement, unsupervised, and supervised. According to this, it can be classified that what type of learning can give into a particular machine to get the desired outputs. To discuss about it briefly, we will look into upcoming videos.